No one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed that we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets, and yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes, and slowly and surely they drew their plans against us.
So, here's the thing. World War I is a perfect setting for horror stories, for creepy stories, for the stories of the macabre, the deranged, that which is beyond sight and sound, for your entering... Oh, wait, wrong thing. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say is that World War I was a creepy as hell time period, or at least the stories that came out of World War I were so creepy as hell that you could actually imagine why so many horror stories came or are inspired by the First World War. But in this case, for War of the Worlds month, we take a look at one of two material that actually is based in World War I. This one being a 3-part comic series known as World War of the Worlds. And it's a mouthful, but I like to colloquially call it the Great Martian War.
Excuse me, what?
Okay, so yes, I know there is another one called The Great Martian War, which is a mockumentary which was made by the History Channel and was actually aired on the BBC, and was, and honest to God, is actually legitimately good. And if you can find it, you can enjoy it. And I'm not going to be able to leave a link to it because the only one I have is the digital one that I was able to pirate off another site, and if I do find the link, I'll try and put in the pinned comment down below for that review, but not for this review. This review, we're talking about the comic book series, which has the 3 comics, and I'm just going to say this right now, look at these covers. These covers are fucking amazing! World War of the Worlds is probably one of the best, in my opinion, War of the Worlds story set in a period. Now, I'm not going to lie. There have been several different War of the Worlds stories. There have been ones which was the second wave, ones which was set, of course, during the 1930s, during the Orson Welles broadcast. There are many different ones, but this one, in my opinion, is probably the best 3 books that you can take a look at. Pin comment down below, by the way, just so you can, read them yourself. But, ladies and gentlemen, what about these stories actually makes it good? Well, no spoilers, because I'm a cock blocker like that, and number 2, pin comments if you want to read these yourself. But, what do I love about these stories? I love the artwork. It's a gritty artwork, and there is actually a board game that is basically World War I and War of the Worlds, and you can get it if you can find it. I've been trying to find it myself, but I've been kind of having a hard time for that. But the big thing about this is that it does have characters that you would not expect to be in a War of the Worlds story. It actually has H.G. Wells as a consultant about the Martians. It actually has Nikola Tesla and even Albert Einstein. I'm not joking when I say that this legitimately is a cool story. And how the Martians extract the blood is, I'm not going to say it for YouTube's guideline reasons, but, you know the demon bunnies from Blood Sea? That whole thing? Think that moment where, they put the humans in a bag and do the thing to them. That's what it is. Moving away from that, of course, the Martian war machine design, or at least the tripod design, I'm not 100% on, but I kind of like it I kind of do like it a little bit. It definitely gives off like a demonic, it kind of follows the whole tradition of them having like a demonic face almost, or like a skull face almost, and I do like that. The other thing, though, is that it does add a conspiracy into it, asking the question of whether or not these Martians are actually the first extraterrestrials to come to Earth, even going to a real-world event that happened in Russia. And I'm not going to spoil that because, again, read it yourself. But what I will say is that the artwork's amazing. The storytelling is great. And while, yes, these Martians have a force field, there is a reason for it. And how they take down the force field and how they actually take down the Martians themselves is also fucking amazing. And definitely one for the history books in terms of how they take down the Martians. But another one, and I'm going to say this now, another one that's just beautifully done, or at least that I love, is the fact of no matter what, the human instinct to kill each other is still prevalent. It's basically like that scene from War of the Worlds Goliath where they're in a pub and basically the events of World War I is going to happen. Or at least you think it's going to happen. But it doesn't happen. For this, World War I was paused as the Martians were basically invading Europe and literally going two-prong attack, one towards Paris, one towards Germany. And again, I'm not going to spoil the ending for this comic book series, but it makes a great social commentary on the human condition, on human nature. And that's, honest to God, it. Like, I cannot say more without diving into spoilers, and I don't want to dive into spoilers, because that's how much I love this comic book series, and I'm going to tell you guys now, if you can support the creators, go buy a physical copy of it. If you don't want to buy a physical copy of it, and you want to have a digital copy to basically copy and paste and have on a folder somewhere, down below, pin comment where you can read all three at once, or read all three in a row, basically. And I'm not joking when I say that these comic books are, honest to God, great. And as always, I'm pleasantly surprised by the War of the Worlds media that's out there. I honest to God, love it. I really do. Anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. As always, I've been Airsoft Al. And let me know if you've read this comic book series and what you think about it. Or is this your first time discovering it? And have you read it after watching this video and coming back to discuss in the comments section your thoughts on the comic books themselves? Let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al. If you want to help support the channel, consider donating to our PayPal down below. It's folks like you that actually do help support the channel. It's folks like you that actually make these videos possible. It's folks like you that make many of the projects, including the ones right behind me, possible. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al, and I will see all you lovely people in the next video for War of the Worlds Month.